Hey, Shelby.
Hey, Nate.
How was your day?
It was good. Had a rough start, but it was good. How about yours?
Normal work.
Yeah.
8 to 5:30 slog. It's boring.
But that's kind of part of what you like about it, is that it's pretty low key.
Yeah, whenever it is interesting, I'm good at it and I can excel at it. And whenever it's boring, it's easy. So it's really not hard either way. The only time it's ever hard is whenever I'm lazy and procrastinate. It's a pretty laid back company, pretty laid back office, and your phone is going off. You're not a very good podcaster.
It is on silent. Should I answer it?
No.
This might be the highlight of my day. What if I answered it live on the podcast?
It's up to you and her.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Hey, Michaela, you are live on our new podcast.
Hi, best friend.
Hi.
All right, we'll take a break and let Shelby take this. And we're back.
We're back. That was my best friend, Michaela, who is calling. We get to go see her in about a week. We're going to leave. She and her husband, Aaron, who is also one of our best friends, live in Bloomington, Indiana. Michaela is a grad student studying French horn. She's a very good French horn player. French hornist? French horn player?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
We'll have to ask her.
We'll have to ask her, yes.
We'll have some follow-up.
I don't know much about the technical or classical sides of music. And Michaela does. And I really like to give her an opportunity to talk about the things that she's passionate about. And so I try to always have some prepared French horn related questions. So that will be one of them. Are you a French horn player or a French hornist?
I think it might be something else that we're not even thinking of, but I'm not sure. I'm curious to hear.
A horny Frencher?
No, that's a different thing.
Okay. All right.
Maybe we can have you and Michaela on the podcast, and you can just ask her on here.
Oh my gosh, yes, Michaela, please do a podcast with me.
We'll see. Tune in next week.
I don't even know what we talk about. French horn and dogs, I guess.
Yeah.
I would listen to that. Today, I drove my mom to the airport in Houston, which is about 2 hours from where we live. So my mom was leaving today to fly to Canada to visit some of our friends that live up there. And my mom and I have a great relationship. We get along really well. We just enjoy talking to each other. So one of the best parts of my day was...
Keep bragging. I love my family. We're not dysfunctional at all.
So I was driving her to the airport, and we just spent the 2 hours talking about nothing in particular, nothing new or crazy, but it was just nice. I don't get a ton of alone time with her. I spend most of my time with her because I work with her and spend time with my family in general, but we're not alone a whole lot. So that was really nice. And then the drive back from Houston, I was by myself and I just rolled all the windows down. I rolled the sunroof back and I blasted some good classic rock, mostly 70s and 80s, a little bit of 60s. And that was really nice.
Any particular bands or songs?
I mean, Fleetwood Mac all the way, some Bruce Springsteen, some Brian Cougar Mellencamp, some The Pretenders, some Rolling Stones, Boston. Yeah. There was some Boston. That's all I can remember. But it was good. And I often find myself missing music. I used to listen to a lot of music. And then I discovered podcasts. And now that's most of what I have playing on my phone all the time.
Now you don't shower or work or wash your clothes. It's just nothing but podcasts.
My whole life is podcasts. Please help me. This is a debilitating addiction. So it was really nice to get to just really jam out to some music again. I think about this often early on whenever I started going to therapy. My therapist asked me, so, whenever things are just quiet and you're just kind of alone with yourself, where does your mind go? And I was like, Dan, that's so silly. It's never quiet. I'm always listening to a podcast. And he was like, yeah, but what about when you're not? I was like, I don't think you understand. I'm never alone with my thoughts.
Unless that's the name of the podcast that you're listening to.
Alone with my thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So even though I wasn't really in silence and I wasn't really alone with my thoughts, I did take a break from listening to podcasts. So...
Well, it was just you, your thoughts, and John Cougar Mellencamp.
So I think maybe me taking a break from podcasts for 2 hours, well, really an hour and a half, a song came on that I didn't want to listen to, so I switched to a podcast. But maybe my therapist will be proud of me. I enjoyed the conversations that I had with my mom. Whenever we got to Houston, we went to Papa's Seafood, because that's one of her favorite restaurants, and her boyfriend doesn't care for seafood, so she doesn't really eat much seafood. And that was delicious. Whoa. Maybe that's the highlight of my day.
Food again?
Food again. Like I said last time.
No, I
really like
think the
food.
alone time with John Cougar Mellencamp and talking to your mom and maybe talking to Michaela now are better highlights than the Papa's Seafood.
Yeah. The conversations that I had with Mom and the phone call from Michaela and rocking out with Fleetwood Mac, those were all really good.
No, my day was fine, but the best part of work for me is usually seeing my coworkers there. There's an older gentleman. He's about early to mid 60s, and he's kind of getting ready for retirement. He's kind of my best bud at the office, and it's been really interesting to listen to him because he's in such a different stage of life than me that we think very much the same. So it's almost like seeing, it's a little bit like seeing into the future for myself, but 40 years in the future. Actually, I think he's exactly 40 years older than me. So
40 years and a lot more money.
Right. So I'm starting my 401k and he's ready to cash it out. He and I are both kind of finance nerds a little bit. And he's way more nerdy than I am. I don't know jack squat, but we like talking about it.
Nate really likes Reddit and follows finance subreddits. Does that count as a financial
r/economy, r/AskEconomics, I think. I don't know, some other stuff. r/PersonalFinance.
Ask Horny Frenchers?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh.
My highlight's kind of related to me, but not directly me. I enjoy listening to him talk about it. And, today he was talking about how strange it is to kind of switch from saving to spending. He's pretty much been a habitual saver his whole life. His income has fluctuated. At one point, he was in medical equipment sales and did pretty well for himself, frankly. Did really well for himself. But then later, he worked at Home Depot, so he's kind of spanned a range of incomes. But he's always saved. And so he's just kind of struggling to figure out when exactly they should both quit their jobs, when they should retire, exactly what they should do when they retire. I suggested he go RVing, and he actually kind of liked that idea. He's kind of trying to slow pitch it to his wife, but You know, and I suggested some other places they move. I said, well, you can move to Galveston, you can move to Austin. You know, and he hated those ideas. I said he can move to Florida.
Austin's
I was like,
too expensive.
well, I was trying to suggest places that, I don't know, other people retire. You know, another friend at work retired and went to live a couple blocks from the beach in Galveston, but he doesn't like that idea and made fun of me. So he said my ideas are very poor.
What a great friend.
Yeah.
That's my job, to tell you your ideas are bad.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting to listen to him talk about how hard it is to spend now. It's just kind of unusual to hear someone struggle with spending money, but he really likes to save, and like it really is like a habit for him. It actually reminds me, in college, I had a teacher that said she'd been journaling every day for 20 years, and it really was kind of becoming a time sink for her, and so she was trying to get off of it. She was trying to stop, because she would journal for like 20 or 30 minutes a night. And it's just kind of how she processed her day, and she just didn't feel like she was getting much out of it anymore. But that was so foreign to me, because I was like, man, I would kill if I could make myself sit down and journal, you know, for 20 minutes a day. I feel like that would really help me. But for her, you know, for whatever reason, I guess 20 years of doing it had just made her sick of it. And so
it's challenging for me to even talk about my day for 20 minutes, let alone write about it. Whoa.
Yeah. So it's kind of analogous in that it's just kind of a strange thing to hear someone complain about. Like, oh, I have to start spending money, you know. That's kind of fun though. But it's kind of a fun, you know, look into the future. So that was a highlight for me.
That's neat. So, in the future, are we rich?
Yeah, in the future we have a lot of money.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm sure. Somehow that'll happen. All right. Well, let's sign off. See you tomorrow. Pretty good.
I couldn't remember what we say. I was like, do we say goodbye?